Penguins don't fly.
They fly now. They fly now. It's not a penguin, it's a bumpty. In the Mario world, they can do anything. Welcome back to some more of Yoshi's Woolly World. It's time to finish off World 5.
Trouser
So
Yoshi.
first off, with Trouser Yoshi, we're going to the Snowy Mountain Lift Tour. Hey, we need these good old trousers when we take the ski lift, okay? These nice old snow pants.
No, they're specifically trousers.
Okay.
You know, Snowflake Yoshi,
What if
Snowball
What
Yoshi.
if Yoshi turned around and he had a little poop chute? Of like the
That'd be adorable.
The little Santa
like
chute.
Yeah.
The little Santa pants. Okay, so yeah, we have to hit these blocks to change the directory of the ski lift.
Okay.
And that's basically how this level's gonna go. And look, the little bumpties are back.
Oh.
Careful. Thank you very much.
Money! Can people eat penguins?
Damn it. I'm sure there's someone that's tried. Are they an endangered species?
I was just about, like, are people allowed to eat penguins?
there's a lot of types of penguins. As we know when we saw the, like, cutest animals.
Yeah,
And there was,
like 12 of them were penguins.
Yeah, 12 different penguins, and I was just like,
But
thought there
yet
was
they,
two.
like, lump together all of the, like, squirrels, chipmunks.
Yep. Yeah, we're still salty about that.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, so you're going to go over, like, 9 different types of penguins, but squirrels and chipmunks share their category.
Yeah.
Hey, look, they fly.
It was, like, squirrels, chipmunks, voles, like...
I think they put rabbits in a different category, though.
Yeah.
I think they at least did that. Because, like, if they would have included rabbits, I'd have riot. I'd be like, listen, this is wrong.
Penguins don't fly.
They fly now. They fly now. It's not a penguin, it's a bumpty. In the Mario world, they can do anything they want. Nintendo willed it. Nintendo's like, we are the creators. Hang on. It's, we are the makers of worlds and dreamers of dreams.
What is it from?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When he's like, the snozberries taste like snozberry.
Oh, okay.
And the little shit's like,
Yeah.
snozberry? Who ever heard of a snozberry? And he grabs her face.
Yeah.
And he goes, we are the makers of worlds and dreamers of dreams. And she said, Daddy!
Yeah.
Daddy, help!
Apparently all of those kids were just terrified the entire time.
Yeah, and Gene Wilder loved every minute of it. You can't do that nowadays. You can't touch the child actor. Well, hold on. The new movie, the new Wonka movie, that's an origin story, so it has nothing to do with, like, the kids and the...
Right.
It's about him, like, building the chocolate factory, right? And I was very skeptical about it until I heard it was from the director of Paddington. And, like, it's very wholesome and good, and I'm just like, son of a bitch, I'm gonna have to see this movie.
I know.
Because I'm just like, they're doing another Wonka. I don't need to see another Wonka. It's fine. It's an origin story. I'm sure it is. It's from the director of Paddington. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, fine. This
Paddington
cold,
made me
dead
want to be a
husk of a
better man.
heart is gonna have. Yep. I cried during the whole thing. It wanted to make me a better man. Paddington 2. I'm just like, all right, Pedro Pascal. I get that it's just a line, and then we saw the movie, and it's just like, fucking Paddington 2.
So good.
Like, even Paddington 1 wasn't that bad, but
Yeah.
Paddington 2. Oh. Paddington 2.
I think because Paddington 2 had, like, an actual villain.
I mean, the first movie had, like, the taxidermist.
Yeah.
She was a villain. I think it was just, like, the wholesomeness that spread from the family.
Yeah.
So, like, the first movie was just like, he's not really part of the
Kids
family.
being
Like,
kids and-
that whole shtick of just like,
Yeah.
can we keep him? I guess. And the mother's on board. And by the
Yeah.
end, the father's on board. And the second, he kind of, like, branches out to the community.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really makes it work.
I think it's so interesting after reading, like, Paddington the book.
Yeah.
Of like how they're so different, but they can have such a similar vibe.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like what people are saying about the Wonka movie. Like, it's so different, but it captures the essence.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like that's most important when you're doing either an adaptation or like something that takes place with the same intellectual property.
You have to...
Don't do the story beat by beat, but you have to
Right.
capture the essence.
Yeah.
What is that story about? What is this world about? What are these
What
characters
are the major
about?
themes of the plot so
What are the
far?
major themes of the book so far? Oh, Jesus, come on. And like, I feel like that's what's most important.
Yeah.
Whereas one of the things that like irks me about modern remakes and retelling, mainly remakes, is this kind of like bitterness towards the original.
Yeah.
And like, I can fix this. Don't do that. Just make your own shit if that is what you're trying to accomplish out of something that you're not the audience for, or you're not. You'd be surprised how many creators get like the rights to create something that they either didn't care for, didn't see, or just like, I thought this was trash. Let me do it better. What the fuck? And it's always something popular.
Yeah.
It's never something that Flawed would be like, let me try this.
Should be,
yeah,
like...
let me try this. I'll give it a whirl. It didn't work for them. Maybe it'll work for me. No,
Could
no.
you
It's always a
imagine
hit.
them doing like the Sword in the Stone, but in like the Frozen 2 animation?
Oh, you're thinking animation.
I just
like,
mean like in general.
they're gonna go
like,
for
the
live
remakes
action,
and
number
stuff.
one. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. The writers of Game of Thrones originally were supposed to do Sword in the Stone. And then that finale hit, and those writers went deuces. They took their money and fucking ran. They were supposed to do a Star Wars project. They were supposed to do Sword in the Stone.
Well, I wonder if it...
And then that finale went...
if it wasn't necessarily that they like...
Has
took their
anybody heard
money
from them?
and ran, but the strike. The writer's strike. I'm sure that affected a lot of...
Did you see that little bumpty?
I'm just...
you can't
I'm like,
swallow,
go, Yoshi, go!
You can't swallow bumpties. They can't convert into yarn, so you gotta spit them
But
out.
you can just throw them into the abyss.
Exactly. You can toss them into the abyss. It doesn't matter. I've seen them fly. Flap, little bastard. Flap, flap. I've seen you can do it.
But, yeah, I'm wondering if it was like...
I mean, there's a lot of writers that even after the strike have started coming back. I don't know what they're working on.
Yeah.
Because, like, granted, like, for some reason, they probably knew shit was going to hit the fan.
And they were like, hey, we're retiring.
Deuces.
Yeah.
We're done. Because that finale hit and people were mad. And then after the dust settled, you'd think they'd come back and be like, everybody cool down?
Yeah.
Everybody okay? Nah, they left. And they said, we're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
So
Are
they
we
went
gonna
from
get
being...
T-shirt Yoshi?
Maybe. They went from signing on to like 4 other projects
To not doing any
to
of
not
them.
doing anything. They're just on an island somewhere being like, idiots.
Yeah.
We milk them dry, then flood the finale. Who gives a fuck? We got paid. Who knows? But no, I would prefer if a lot of the older, like the Snow White, Pinocchio, were remade with like the Moana graphics.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a nice touch.
I don't know. I like...
All right, who we got here? This is Blizzard Yoshi.
Okay. Acceptable.
I can accept that.
Well,
I was looking at it, I was just like, oh god, is it like suit and tie Yoshi?
that's why I was like, if it's going to be like Sweater Yoshi, I'm out.
Sniffberg the Unfeeling's Castle. Alrighty. Is there a thought you wish to share with the class?
I was just like trying to think because we were talking about at work like what remakes we would want to see, and one of my
Treasure
coworkers, what?
Treasure Planet.
Well, one of my coworkers was like Fantasia,
Oh.
And I'm just like, as wonderful as I think they could make that,
I think they should do another Fantasia.
I think they'd ruin it.
I mean, they already did Fantasia 2000, which was surprisingly really good, except for when they decided to
That
do
was the thing, though. Is
celebrity
like,
stand-up.
Exactly. That was the thing, is like, it went from the composer explaining the piece of music and what was happening in the scene, and then letting the scene play. They brought in celebrities.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, imagine what they would do with a Fantasia now. They're not going to use classical music now. They're going to use pop music. Like, because that's what sells.
You think?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Fantasia 2000 was like a direct to VHS DVD type situation. It wasn't a theatrical release.
It wasn't? I thought it was. It was just very brief. Because I remember, like, that being a big deal. Because I remember a couple people being like, oh, let me tell you, like, the movie, it's okay, but you had to see those whales in the sky on the silver screen. I didn't see it in theaters. I missed it, but I'm pretty sure it was, like, a limited viewing. Or at least I'd hope so. I'd like to believe, okay?
Just okay.
She's doing the research. While I'm avoiding all the little snippets. Oh, God. That is a big ice cube.
Don't crush me. I'm fragile.
Because, like, both Fantasias have fantastic ending pieces.
No, you were right. It was released exclusively in IMAX theaters around the world from January 1st to April 30th, 2000.
Yeah. Yeah, that was before they really got snooty with, like, 2D animation. That was still when they were, like, riding the high.
But it's like...
I don't know if it was that successful.
But my coworker's like, well, they would probably do it live action. And I'm like, fucking how? It would still have to be animated.
Depends on what they did.
Because it's like, how are you going to have, like, centaurs and mythical creatures in a live action? You animate them. You use CG.
Yeesh.
They're not just going to get some guy in a costume.
I mean, they called The Lion King live action, so anything
and
goes.
that was one of my biggest qualms with it, is it's not a fucking live action. You still had to animate those lions.
One of your biggest qualms. You act like you saw the movie.
Well, that's one of the biggest reasons I don't want to see the
There
movie.
we go.
Like, between that, because, A, they look scary. They look weird. They don't look like real lions.
The look is the one thing that I can give the movie, like, some props for. Uh-oh. Bye.
I don't know. For me, it's a mix between that and listening to the music. It has
the
no
music,
soul.
yeah, is
There's,
really, like,
like,
cut and dry. Like,
you can tell
like,
that, like,
record
none
this,
of,
there you go, print.
yeah.
It was just like, did
Well,
you
you
try
can-
another take?
Well, you can tell that none of the actors were together whenever they were singing. Like, there's, like, a weird pause.
To be fair, a lot of them weren't together. Like, that's actually very rare for actors to be singing together. I think. No, acting together. Singing might be a different story.
Like, I understand if you're not voice acting every single moment together as an entire cast. But,
Yeah.
like, if you're singing a duet with someone, I feel like you should be singing it together.
I got you.
Like, it just, there's no emotion.
Well, that's all the Disney remakes. A lot of them just are, like, lacking the soul.
Yeah.
Because, like, it very much, and it's been revealed, like, they're just, like, burning through. Scene.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do
Okay,
this. Scene
what
6.
is gonna make
Good.
money?
That's it.
Like-
Yep, that's the take. All right, next. And I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to, like, why I don't like remakes. A lot of them are made by people that don't like the original.
Yeah.
And it shows.
But I feel like so much anymore, like, the idea of animation.
I want a remake, and this is not a Disney property, of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's time. We've had so many Draculas and
Yeah.
Frankensteins and mummies. It's time for us to give another shot to The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's a campy, stupid movie. We
Yeah.
can do a lot with technology now. And I mean, it's a universal property. Have at it. Have fun.
Like, I can't wait to see this Yoshi.
Well, it's going to be Sniffberg Yoshi.
I know.
I do like his costume, though. How he has, like, a... I don't even know what the fabric would be. But his little, like, ice cube suit.
It's like velour.
Velour. There we go.
Maybe not velour, but like...
Oh, damn. I didn't come in
Like
with
a-
too much health. Oh, noes. Nice.
But I feel like the idea of 2D animation is making a lot of headway in the sense of like people are saying it's not just for kids anymore.
Yeah.
Like anime has just
slowly but surely.
completely blown up.
Well, in the West, there's still that nasty stigma, but
Well, that's what I'm
in
saying.
Japan,
It's,
I don't
like,
think there was ever that stigma. That it
Well,
was
what I'm
only
saying
for
is
kids.
in the West, it's starting to like people are starting to understand that 2D animation is not just for children.
Now we just need to stop putting animation in a different category at the award ceremony. And realize that, like, no, an
I feel
animated
like-
movie should be Best Picture. Why not?
Well, I feel like it is different.
Okay.
It is different because you have like cinematographers that are shooting live scenes against artists that are rendering animated scenes.
I still think they should be nominated for Best Picture. Like, the movie's the movie. Best Picture should not just be live action movies.
That's fair.
That's just how I honestly feel. So it doesn't even have to be Disney. What is a remake that you'd like to see? Something that's just like, this could use another go.
I'm trying to think of like
It could be a recent flop. It could be something very old that like has a cult following, but it's just like, I'd like to see that with today's technology.
yeah. See, I don't think it's the same for me because I know like a lot of the movies that I'm automatically thinking of, they do have a modern counterpart that I just haven't seen.
Okay.
Give me a moment to think on that. Just because they're like, I'm trying to run through like all of the things that I've seen, and it's like, because I do like old movies. I do like a lot of like the campiness and the silliness of like B movies.
You've gotten a lot better than like, I don't even want to say front, but the initial impression I got when we first talked about older movies. Where I was just like, uh-oh.
Well, I'm not a fan of like older movies like Casablanca.
Yeah, and
I'm not a fan of older movies full of...
But like I also have like, I recently got King Kong and Ray Harryhausen movies, and we're gonna see how those. I haven't seen the original
I
King
think
Kong.
for
in a
me, it's not the
while.
time frame, it's the genre.
The genre, okay.
Because I love older horror movies.
Oh,
I
really?
love them. I think that it's so interesting.
What are they
and
called? The Hammer films.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see, like, because they didn't have exorbitant amounts of technology and they had to get creative.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember watching the original Blob.
There he is, Sniffbird Yoshi. His snoot is a sniffet.
It's cute. But I remember watching the original Blob with my grandma and her just being like, wow, it's crazy. Like, I remember when this movie came out and it was so realistic to us and we were terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like learning about the first animated moving pictures of the train, and people were losing their shit because they thought the train was like actually going to run them over.
Yep,
And it's
I remember
like,
that.
so seeing how they had to be creative, they couldn't just count on like, oh, well, we'll just like green screen that in later. Like they had to figure it out. I just really appreciate the artistry in that. And plus the storytelling I enjoy.
Okay, cool. Well, that's World 6. But we have a special level that we got to take care of in World 5. And we're going to do that in the next episode. So we'll see you all then. And then you'll let us know.
I'll have an answer.
Yeah, you'll have an answer.
Toot.